Hey guys, this is Captain Penelope, and welcome to a new video I have going here. It's something to do, and I think this is a new video on the what I'm doing in class right now. I want to show something I'm working on in class, and I want to show everyone. But thank you, and also this is somewhat of a Let's Talk, because for those of you who are watching this on my Captain Penelope channel, which is my old channel, I am going to go ahead and decide that I'm going to, or let you guys know, I'm permanently over at the Super Paladin Bros channel, and I am soon will be getting the domain www.superpaladinbros.com. So for those of you who are old, my old channel, want to check out my new channel, please do so. Now that I'm going to be there from now on, so feel free to stop by. And I don't want I don't want to bother with OneDrive quite yet. So, in this video, I do want to kind of go over something what I've been going through college, and I just want to show everyone some of the things that I've actually been going through. And producer guy, I feel, had a video on virtual reality and how big, or how I wouldn't say it's big yet, but how it's slowly coming into the gaming community. Of course, you got Oculus Rift, you got PlayStation VR, and also various other consoles that have leapt into this. But this is kind of for PC, and I want to show something for the PC. And for those of you who have Windows, you might have this program, but this is VMware Workstation Pro. What this is virtually, you can virtualize a computer, more or less. You can bring a virtual computer to life, and you can create one. That's what I have been doing in class, rather, and for classes. And what I've been doing is building a virtual server. And actually, virtual servers, because I've been, in my class, I've been running up to 4 of them. So I have been working on for four of the servers in my it was Windows Server Pro, Windows Server 2 class. So yeah, that's what I've been working on in that class. So I'm gonna go ahead and boot it up. This is a program called VM Workstation. Basically, this is like a professional company. You have to get a license in order to operate this program. And the license is quite a bit of money. I mean, these things don't come for free. Well, so what it really does, it sort of like you could build a virtual machine off from a host PC. Say your laptop, your desktop PC. Now, for Apple, I don't think this will work for Apple, because Apple does not work well with Windows technology. Actually works well with Windows kernel program, because Windows kernel and the Apple kernel, which is basically the heartbeat of an operating system, kind of like the the delegation of drivers, the software itself. The two are virtually incompatible to run at the same time. But you can run this and also another operating system, such as Linux, Solaris, and some of the lesser known ones used by companies that that suits their needs, more or less. Here, and get rid of you. But I'm running this on a Windows 10 machine right at the moment. So what this is, you can actually build a machine right here. This is basically the computer itself. Now, you can use hardware that is based off from your computer, but you're actually using only files. You're not actually creating a real machine. You're virtualizing it. You're creating somewhat that's not exactly physical, but you can use the computer's physical assets. The host is, and I'll go ahead and give a demonstration of what I'm doing here. Power on this machine. Go ahead and keep it. I'm going to keep it in this window here because I don't really feel like, because I tried to do this full screen, it won't work on full screen, when I do, because I'm using Camtasia, so I'm not going to even bother, going this to full screen, and I apologize. So I'm using Windows Server 2012 R2. So if those of you are not, that's a server program used as Microsoft, where you can pull your assets. I'll show you its operation here in just a minute here. But I've had to create 4 servers, so this is what I'm doing right at the moment. So let's kind of wait for this to boot up. This will definitely take a little bit just to boot up. Alright, so yeah, before I actually boot this up, I do want to show the VirtualBox. This one, since VMware is virtually a licensed program, there is actually a free one you can actually get. Let's go to www.virtualbox.org, and you can actually download. This is actually open source. You can download it and check it out, because you can actually run different operating systems. Now you can probably use Apple, but I don't think they're actually compatible. I think you can actually use Apple, virtualized Apple operating systems on this. I've actually used Apple before in my high school days, and how they do it, what they really do is, they kept Apple and Windows PC. If you want to use both, you have to do a dual boot, because it's using the same drive, same hardware assets, but you have to create a partition in your hard drive just to kind of make it work together. Make it work so you can actually use you decide use one or the other, but not both at the same time. So virtualbox.org. This one's a free one you can actually download. I do plan on doing Fury 3 in my game or Let's Play channel, but I'm gonna do that. I have to install Windows Vista to do it. So what I'll end up doing is I'll use VirtualBox just to do that for the time being. So, but for right now, I want to go ahead and focus on what I'm doing here. So here we go. This is what I call the Sydney DC. This is, we had to install 4 servers here. So you got to set, in order for this to work, you got to send Control-Alt-Delete, and you got to type in the password, because this person right here is the quote-unquote domain controller. He controls the whole server. The whole server works. I mean, he is quote-unquote top administrator for this and I'm sorry this is maximized, but it won't work if you have it maximized to full screen, because it won't show it. I've checked it on Camtasia and it won't work very well. So this is kind of like what it is, a server manager. You can what this virtually does, and I'll kind of try to explain this in simpler terms. What this does, this is the main computer. This is the server that I've created that controls all the subsequent servers that I've actually created. I can go ahead and just show you, some of the other ones that I did create. This is, MEL, CBR, and also ADL. But this server right here, Sydney, which is codenamed Sydney, which is Australia, controls, of course, Melbourne, Canberra. I don't know what that one is, but kind of Australian names. But yeah, so that's what it does. It controls. This is the master server. This controls the other 4 servers. Now, if this was an actual computer machine, this will still do it. it would still control the other servers the same way like I'm doing right now. And you can actually pull the resources, say pull the hard drive space for each of the servers and make it into one big server. I mean, that's one of the major functions you do with this, is one of the things you do with an actual server. You can pull the resources, pull the hard drive spaces from all 4 servers and make it one. And you can also do all such, create websites and create domain controllers, create forests and subdomains. You can do all sorts of things, And also you can also control workstations, individual computers. And you can also deploy Windows systems to another computer without having to use an installation disk. I mean, it's so fascinating, you wouldn't believe. So, but that's what we're doing in class, and we're having to learn all this stuff. I mean, it's very complicated stuff, I know, but this is kind of the life I chose. I know it's probably I understand why PGP can be a little hesitant about Windows and all that stuff, because they created a monster empire, with everything. But this is a business world. Windows has created this for the business world. Now, I don't know if Apple has created something like a server program or server operating system, but to my knowledge, they have not. So, I don't know. But that is actually all I'm going to do with this. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Go ahead and bring this up, because we've kind of seen enough, I think, of this server. I have to do some homework later with it. Alright, so shut it down. I'm going to shut you down. Alright, so, and also, of course, you can, if you have an ISO of a Windows program, you can actually, create, a virtual machine based off using the host's resources. Now, I'm kind of walk you through it a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm not even going to go through a whole thing here, but alright, so let's just say I wanted to create a new machine. Alright, so because I'm going to create a Windows 7 machine. So let's go ahead and just do this. This is kind of a demo, because I'm already going to use this one. Paladin's Windows 7, this is already done. But I'm going to walk you through it. So let's just kind of new virtual machine. Alright, so you want to do a typical. Alright, so let's go ahead and just do it typical for now. I will. Alright, since I do have the ISO, but I'm actually just want to install it later. So it'll be a virtual machine will be created with a blank hard disk. So let's just do that. Alright, so we want to create a Microsoft Windows 7. If you have a 64-bit version of Windows 7, you can use that. So let's just use a 32-bit for now. Now you got Linux here. There's many different flavors of Linux out there. Of course, you got Novell NetWare, you got Solaris, VMware, and other programs like MS-DOS and all the others. But let's just go back to Windows 7 for now. Alright, so I'm just going to name it Windows 7. Well, Windows 7, because I'm not going to keep this. I'm just going to name it that. Now, you can set the hard drive space. What this does is that you're going to use part of your physical hard drive that's inside your computer, set it aside for this machine, virtual machine. But the only thing is, it does not actively set it aside. What you're going to do is you're going to create a limit of how big the hard drive will take up space in your physical hard drive. So what it's going to do is it's going to create files. It's going to keep building files until it reaches the capacity, or a file that reaches, say, 60 gigabytes or 100 gigabytes. That one single file will be, or the multiple files, say here, this will be the maximum limit of the file. So, say maximum disk size, let's just go 60 for now, because that's the recommended size. Now you can make this all one single file, which means you'll have to, it basically is one file, so it will just knows where it's at. It'll install all the files of the Windows inside this. So say, for a record, I'm going to go down here in my Explorer. a little bit to load. Alright, let's go to the computer here. Go to OS with a C drive. Alright, so basically what this is going to do, it's going to install the whole, basic programs from the C drive and fit it into one drive. That's what's its primary function. Now you could have separate files, but it's not going to break it down to where it's going to be like this, but it'll be breaking it down so it allocates, up to the maximum hard space. Kind of it'll be like dividing it up into sections, so to speak. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm just going to use a single file because I'm not going to even bother. I'm going to probably delete this because I'm not going to use it. Alright, so you're here. Let's kind of go to customize hardware here because this is where it gets really interesting. The memory here. You can actually set how much memory it'll take, so to speak. You can go up, but you can only go up to where the maximum of your memory. So basically, my maximum on this laptop is 8 gigs, but 2 gigs is reserved for graphics. So I'm not going to go past 6 gigabytes. Plus, I'm using Windows 10 on this computer, which is probably going to take a whole gig itself, because Windows 10 it takes about 1.5 gigs of RAM already just to use Windows here. So I'm just going to take this down to 3. Just between 2 and 4 there. Let's see if it'll 2.6. Let's go a little higher. There we go, 3. Now you can use a number of processors, simulate the number of processors it's going to use. Since mine is only 2, I'm going to use 1, okay? Just to process everything that's on this virtual machine. So, you want to keep in mind that you're using the host physical assets just to satisfy this virtual machine here. Excuse me. Alright, so hard drive, or the CD drive, you can actually use the physical drive if you want, or use an ISO image to start up things. Say if I had an actual Windows 7 disk, I can actually use that instead of an ISO file. But I actually have an ISO file. I'm just going to use Windows 8.1 for now, or Windows 7. Do that, because that will read from there. Now, of course, you got a network adapter. You can set it where it will connect to the internet through the network card that's in your computer. That's kind of the best thing about it. Or, since you don't want it to connect to the internet, you can just create a specific virtual network that is no longer, which is completely off, separate, its own virtual network within, let's say between one or more machines. So for now, we'll just use the host IP for that. Excuse me. So we got sound card and the USB controller. It'll virtually detect everything that's connected to the physical laptop. Sound card. Alright, so you use the sound card. We'll just kind of use the one that's the host for now. Printer, we won't worry about printers or display because we're using the host settings, so let's just use that. And you can actually add more if you want. You add another drive if you want, or another network card to use the host and inside the virtual network without having to use it separately or whatnot. But for now, let's just leave it alone. Alright, so since we got the thing installed. Alright, so we got the memory installed, so let's go click finish. And I'm not gonna actually do anything with this. I'm just gonna power it on. Now it's loading up, like as it should. So it's going to boot up, you know, the ISO file that we have for it. The startup ISO file. That has the whole kit and caboodle inside of it. So now I've already did this. This is kind of walk you through the process of actually installing it. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna let it install again since I've already have one already prepared for us. All right, so you just go through here, you install if you want. I'm just gonna get out of this. Setup is starting. Now you can go through the works, you know, I accept the terms of agreement, but we won't keep this. Custom, since we're installing a new copy on a new virtual machine. And you can refresh if you want to do that. Alright, so it's going to go through this. I'm actually going to get out of this. Cancel the Windows. Okay, and I think since this was not going to be installed, I'm just going to cut this off. Now, each one of these virtual machines has its own BIOS, which means that it has its own instruction set of hardware information inside the computer itself. So it's going to read information, you know, from VMware, but also it's going to read information from the host computer too. So, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and power off this machine. I'm not going to use it, since that is not going to be used anyway. So let's go ahead and boot up the one I have already. And this is kind of like after I get everything set up. I mean, this is what the cool thing about this is the future. I mean, now whether or not they're going to have Apple join in with this, I don't know. So it might be a while before, you know, they can actually combine operating systems between PC and Apple. I don't know if and when they're going to do that, but it would be interesting to see if you were to virtualize a machine of Apple computer. But you know how it is, you know, that's going to create some, you know, problems between, you know, antitrust suits, more or less. But here we go. We're going to boot up this Windows 7 right over here, and look at that. It's a Windows 7 Professional. Now this has VMware. You can actually install VMware tools, which means it's actually going to be, you know, additional drivers. It's additional, you know, things that this computer could use. So let's go ahead and just do that. All right, so we need to download again. So excuse me. All right, so there's a network 2. It's detected, but we're not going to worry about it because it's connected. It's connected through the host here. So, you know, it has internet access, so I'm not going to worry about it because it's connected to my laptop's Wi-Fi. So, and look at this. It has all the programs. It has everything here. Startup, games, a little bit, Games Explorer. You know, it has the kit and caboodle here, but this is professional. Yes, use recommended settings. But, you know, you can do a whole lot of stuff here. Here's the VMware tools here. And what it's going to do is, you know, since I got a license through my school, I can only get a license through 1 year. Because, of course, I'm not a business. I'm an individual. They don't want individual people doing this crap, you know. I mean, that's how they protect their property. Let's kind of run through this a little bit, and then I'm going to talk about a few other things before I end the video here. How long will we be running? 24 minutes? Okay, not bad. Alright, so taking a minute to and that's the name of the computer, personal folder set for it. Alright, here we go. New VMware tools. It's just going to give you additional drivers. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that complete. And whenever I do projects, you know, or do a new virtual machine, I do complete because I want the whole package, not just a typical package. I want the whole thing, whole kit and caboodle. All right, so it's gonna take a little bit. I guess I'll go ahead and explain what I'm gonna be doing for my Super Paladin Bros channel. We got the rematch is going to be coming up with Super Mario Kart. Mario Kart Versus is going to do another run through. The rematch is what we're going to call Mario Kart Versus the rematch. So we're going to start recording on it soon. I think since it's 4/7, so it'll be today. We'll start recording on it. Going to go through the same courses. The only thing is, there'll be 2 extra events where we're going to do some team racing. Competitive team racing, both on Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8. So instead of 39 rounds, there's going to be 41. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah, we talked about it. We wanted to do it last time, but Hammer objected. But we're actually going to be doing it for sure this time around. So I think it's a good idea. I mean, my personal opinion, but having said all that, yeah, we'll be doing that. We're actually I'm gonna start Zelda 1 here shortly, and also I think, and then I'll go back to Twilight Princess. I'm gonna try Twilight Princess again. So also work on DKC 2. I tried to record it one time already, or actually 2 times before. And I didn't really how it turned out, you know, the videos, so I'm gonna try it a 3rd time. So I really don't mind doing it a 3rd time because it's actually a game I like to play, DKC 2, Donkey Kong Country 2. So I'll be getting back into that. Of course, Super Luigi Galaxy and the Super Mario Galaxy Saga, which means it's 1 and 2, will be continuing. So we got a lot going on. Hopefully by the time I'm done with college here, I'll be doing more Let's Plays, but for now, I think that's what we got planned. Also, Mario Brothers Wii U will be releasing soon as well, so stay tuned for that on the Super Paladin Bros channel. Now, as far as that website, superpaladinbros.com, I'll be setting it up. I'll let everyone know when that goes up, but you know, for the time being, just use the Captain Pat LP web link. There's a link for the Super Paladin Bros on the Captain Pat LP YouTube page still, so use that one for the time being. Alright, so finish, and we gotta restart. So we gotta restart this Windows file. But I think you guys get the picture of what's going on here, because that's what I've been doing as of late. And the projects have been really extensive, very difficult, more or less, but I'm actually having a good time with it. That's the main thing, but it's a lot of work. I must say it is a lot of work, but this is what I want to do. So I guess that will be all I wanted to talk about. So stay tuned for more stuff on the Super Paladin Bros channel, and also for those of you who are still haven't subscribed subscribe on Captain Pat LP, be sure to subscribe on the Super Paladin Bros. That's where I'm at right now, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm still moving some stuff from the old channel to the new one, so I mean, some of the old stuff will probably be done in compilations on the new channel, so keep that in mind. So until then, guys, I think that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I have been Captain Pat LP of the Super Paladin Bros. Leave a like, also subscribe, check out the Super Paladin Bros, and hopefully soon I'll have the Super Paladin Bros .com website, you know, the domain name going soon. But for now, I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Spirits. Yeah, we ended on that now. Bye, everyone.